The global stage. The global stage. Hello, this is the global stage. It is always an honor to have you. And today we want to discuss one of the newest developments in the world of science and technology, and that is artificial mosquitoes. Yes, you heard me right, artificial mosquitoes. So a few months ago, there was the report of the intended open-air release of billions of genetically modified mosquitoes in the state of Florida, that is in the United States. And what was the reason? Basically, to mitigate the rate and the spread of mosquito infection in that state. Let's watch this short video. I'll be right back. The global stage. The global stage.
If there's one lesson the Wuhan virus has taught us, it's that messing with nature can prove to be fatal. Yet, in the quest for scientific advancement, humans continue to experiment with nature. Here's the latest one. In Florida, 12,000 genetically modified mosquitoes, the first such kind, will be released in open air for the next 12 weeks by autumn. This number is expected to reach 20 million. 20 million genetically engineered mosquitoes. What will they do? Scientists say these artificial insects will help prevent dengue and Zika. But the residents of Florida fear a mosquito apocalypse. Here's a report.
Dengue, chikungunya and Zika. They all come from the same family of viruses. They are transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. This species is found both in tropical and temperate climates, invading the Americas, even Europe. Now a biotech firm has released a genetically engineered version of the Aedes aegypti in Florida. What for? To suppress the growing population of these deadly mosquitoes. Oxitec, a UK-based firm, is behind this technology. It has previously field-tested the insects in Brazil, Panama, Malaysia and the Cayman Islands. But until now, no genetically engineered mosquito has been trialed in the United States, largely due to pushback from American activists. Now, with an alarming rise of mosquito-borne diseases in Florida, local authorities have been forced to take this controversial step. Here's what the artificial mosquitoes will do. The males which don't bite will be released in the wild to mate with the female population. The female Aedes aegypti are responsible for biting prey and transmitting the disease. The genetically engineered males carry a gene that will pass to the offspring and kill female progeny in the early stages. The male offspring will not die but will become carriers of the genes and pass it to future generations. As lesser females are born, the Aedes aegypti population will dwindle. So how many bioengineered mosquitoes will be released? Around 12,000 males will exit their boxes over the next 12 weeks. And in the second half of 2021, 20 million mosquitoes will emerge over a period of 16 weeks. The mosquitoes carry a fluorescent marker gene which makes them glow, which in return makes identification and monitoring the trial easier for researchers. This step may have been taken to prevent the spread of diseases, but the residents of Florida are not too impressed. Many are worried that the mosquitoes will disrupt Florida's ecosystem. Some others fear that gene editing technology could turn haywire and turn the mosquitoes against humans. Scientists say that these mosquitoes pose no such risks. We expect the potential good to outweigh the potential bad. But this sure sounds like the beginning of a bad science fiction film. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
The global stage. The global stage. All right, welcome back. Wonderful. She said that if there is anything we should learn from the Wuhan virus, it is that messing with nature can prove to be fatal. And I totally agree with her. So what went through your mind as you were watching that short video?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. After watching the video, or during watching the video, a whole lot of questions came to mind, and especially it telling us to learn from the Wuhan virus. And I was asking myself, so many questions, like just intentionally creating mosquitoes to solve the same mosquitoes
Yes,
problem.
they're actually genetically modifying.
Correct.
That is to engineer
To
mosquitoes.
engineer mosquitoes
Yes.
to solve that same issue. So I have so many questions in mind that I would like you to help me and also the public. And the first question is, why this experiment?
Okay, wonderful. So basically, we all know what mosquito does. They are harmful to the human population. And so according to statistics, mosquito infection contributes to about 1 million deaths annually. And one of the focal solutions for many years to mitigate the population of this infecting mosquito has been the open air release of pesticides across the states. And according to their report, these pesticides only kill about 30 to 50% of the population of that mosquitoes that cause the disease in that country. And so because the number is not encouraging, because if you're only killing 30 to 50%, that means majority of the mosquitoes are left alive to cause harm to the people of Florida. And so the local government decided that they cannot continue with this spraying of pesticides. They need to come up with a new strategy of killing this mosquito population. And so one of the things they did was to contact a company called Ozitec. Now, Ozitec has a history of engineering mosquitoes in other nations to help with the population of these infecting mosquitoes. And once they got approval from EPA, that is Environmental Protection Agency, and the FDA, the company decided to help these locals by engineering these mosquitoes to kill themselves, thereby reducing the population of the infected mosquitoes in that state. And recently, there's also the alarming rise of mosquito-borne disease in that particular state. So that is the whole idea behind this experiment. So rather than let pesticides kill the insects or the mosquitoes, we are now going to let nature kill nature. That is, we are going to cause the males to kill the females. And that is the whole idea behind the science.
So you said the male will be used to reduce the female population, which will then cause the infection.
Exactly.
Okay. So how does this work?
All right. So basically, there are over 3,000 species of mosquitoes worldwide. The one normally we know in our part of the world is the female Anopheles. Yes, but they are different. Like I said, over 3,000 species worldwide. And this particular species in question is what we call the Aedes aegypti. Aedes aegypti. They are the one responsible for the infections in the United States. And it is the female Aedes aegypti that causes the infection. They bite humans. The males don't bite. It's the female that bite. And once they bite, they cause the infection. And some of the infection they cause is, the number one we know is the malaria. That's number one. We also have yellow fever. We have dengue. We have Zika and the itchy bumps. So because they cause harm to the population, then we are going to engineer the males to kill the females. And that is how this whole experiment started. So one will ask, how does it work? What is the science behind it? But what they do is this. Now they get the male, because the male don't bite, they can now engineer the male. Alright, so in May 2020, the US gave the green light to release these billions of genetically modified mosquitoes into the environment. That is now, this engineered mosquito is called OX5034. That is the breed. That is the name of that genetically modified mosquito, called OX5034. And how it works is this. So this OX5034 mates with the female Aedes aegypti. And once they mate, the male pass on what we call a self-limiting gene to the female. So the offspring the female will produce will have that self-limiting gene. What it means is that, number one, this new offspring will have a shorter lifespan. And also, there will be more males than the females. What then means is that there will be less population of the females, because it's the female that causes the infection.
And they even bite.
So once there's less population of the females, then there's less population of infection and less rate of death, because the new offsprings will not even reach the what we call the adulthood stage, where they are mature to even bite. So now they have a shorter lifespan, And basically, the Aedes aegypti has 14 to 21 days lifespan naturally. So once they produce this new offspring, then they'll have less than 14 days, which means that most of them will die even before they reach that duration. What happens is that there's less population, less infection, and less death. So that is the idea behind this whole experiment.
It sounds very, very interesting. One thing that I'm thinking about, should we worry about this? Because we know what man do mostly comes with other consequences. So should we be worried about it?
All right.
Is there any consequences that man may face?
That is an interesting question. You know, when we're watching that short video from the reporter, she said if there's anything we should learn from the Wuhan virus, is that messing with nature can prove to be fatal.
Yeah.
And so this is actually messing with nature. Even though the idea may sound nice on the surface, there's a lot we need to look at. And Jesus said something. He said something concerning the last days. He said in the last days, deception will prosper. Then he said it several times. So, and we are living in the last days, so things may not seem as it is. So we need to ask a lot of questions. Because now the company claimed that this new genetically modified mosquito mating with the female disease will not have any harmful effect on humans. Other scientists are saying otherwise. Like I said in the previous question, you asked if there has been such an experiment. I said the company called Ozitec in history has done something like that before. In Brazil, in India, they also helped the population there to engineer mosquitoes, trying to reduce the population of these infected mosquitoes. But there's substantial proof that it didn't work. What actually happened that these new offspring came out with new hybrid, which even bite harder, and came out with even new diseases as well. So if it didn't work in Brazil and in India, what makes you think that it will work in the United States?
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee. Now the company Ozitec is saying that it works. There's no harmful effect on human beings. And it's also said that it could also have an effect on the ecosystem as well, because apart from mosquitoes, there's the lizard, there's the frog. They also feed on mosquitoes to survive. So if you are bringing something new into the system, if they eat these things, how would they also turn out to be? That's another question they're also asking, because we all live in the ecosystem. Humans, the mosquitoes bite us, the frogs, the lizards also eat these mosquitoes. So it's like a cycle. So if you're engineering one particular cycle, then it affects all of us as well. Understand? And because of this particular experiment, the locals in the United States, that is Florida, are protesting massively against it. And they were supposed to release these mosquitoes about months ago, but because of the protest, they've halted it for now. So we should be very much concerned about this thing, because one thing we also need to look at is that who is behind the experiment?
Yes, because that's what I'm
who is behind the experiment?
Because who is behind it? Who is sponsoring all these things? Because that company didn't just get up to use their own money to. So we'd like to know who is behind all this thing.
All right. So you see, in life, anything can be weaponized. One thing I usually tell people is that a weapon in the hands of a good man will save life. The same weapon in the hands of a bad man will destroy lives as well. So when you know the character behind a particular thing, you can determine what that thing will be used for. So in this particular experiment, the company or the foundation sponsoring such an experiment is the Gates Foundation.
That is Bill Gates.
Bill Gates Foundation. And in recent times, we've gotten to know the kind of character they have when it comes to some of these things. And so if you're the type who knows the true character of the Gates Foundation, when you see them sponsoring such a thing, then you should think twice.
He was one of the people behind this virus, and we saw what went on and what is still going on. And if this same person is behind this thing, then it's so alarming.
So there are questions we need to ask. You know, they tell us to trust the science or believe in science, but you cannot believe in science. Science is proven. Science asks questions. Science calls for debates. Now, if somebody is selling you his product, he can tell you anything so that you can buy the product. For you to know the product is good, you must subject the same product to independent reviews from other people who have nothing to do with your company. But you cannot just tell us that your experiment works, so we should buy into it. And because of that, the locals, like I said, are protesting. They are asking for transparent data. They're asking for what we call substantial risk analysis. They're also asking for independent research as well. So until these three things are satisfied, we cannot say that this experiment will work. And I totally believe and agree, and I know that this is not for good for humanity. It's actually for the bad of humanity. And it is good that the locals are protesting. And it is sad that the US government gave a green light, but I'm hoping that this thing never comes to play.
I think we have to look at it very critically, because it is nothing good about man. Nothing good about man. Even as you rightly said, anything can be weaponized. And these mosquitoes, who knows the disease that they will even bring?
So there are questions they are asking. Number one, if you bring out these new offsprings from these two individuals, one being genetically modified
and the other one being a natural
now
mosquito.
their offsprings, when they come out, number one, the question is, would they be resistant to pesticides? What kind of disease would they even cause? And if they cause it, what kind of method will you kill them? So you are bringing out a new hybrid, something totally different from nature or from the original we know. And so number one is the resistance to pesticides or anything that could kill them. The other one is the resistance to even the drugs you will have to take to cure the infection they will bring. Like I said, in Brazil, they found out that these new mosquitoes even brought out new diseases they've never heard of it before. So these are questions we need to ask ourselves. And I do not think that they actually took time to study this particular, and I think this is an unregulated open air experiment. It shouldn't go on.
That's so enlightening. Thank you very much for the expose. I think this thing will also enlighten many. Most of the time when things like this come, we are so excited. Oh, we have gotten a breakthrough. Oh, we have gotten a breakthrough. But some of them are not actually breakthroughs. There's something to really break you down. We have to be careful, and your voice have to be heard. Because if they say they did it because of you, then you have a contribution. You have a contribution. I think this is something that we really have to look at it critically and talk about.
Very true. And before we end our discussion, we need to watch a short interview between one of the experts who gave his opinions on what this is. Let's just take it. The global stage. The global stage.
In America, in the United States. So biotech firm Oxitec, which is actually based in the UK, they've actually completed their first US trials of genetically modified mosquitoes. Now, residents have actually come out to protest about this. They are not happy about it. And on this morning's program, I do have with me J.D. Hanson, who is the policy director for the Center for Food Safety in Washington, D.C. He's going to be shedding some light on some of the dangers of these genetically engineered mosquitoes. Good morning, J.D. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, thank you for joining me on this morning's program. Now, we are at the stage whereby this policy has come into play, whereby they want to release genetically modified mosquitoes. What exactly is a genetically engineered mosquito? What does that mean for residents in the United States, in Florida and California?
Well, what they've done is they've taken a small little insect and genetically engineered it to glow in the dark and to need tetracycline to live if you're a female.
Okay.
So they've engineered the females with a kill switch that if they don't get tetracycline, they die. Mm-hmm. And so their strategy is to release literally billions of these male mosquitoes that will go out and mate with native females, and then the offspring of the female offspring will die, and the idea is that this will reduce the population. The problem with that is that there is no foolproof experiment, and females will get out In their earlier draft of this mosquito in Brazil, they had lots of females that lived, and they developed a hybrid kind of mosquito, which is one of the concerns, because we don't want a mosquito that is more hardy, a mosquito even be able to carry the diseases that these yellow fever mosquitoes carry. And so we're concerned that the Oxitec company has kept from the U.S. Public all of their data, or most of their data, on the health effects of these mosquitoes and on the environmental effects of these mosquitoes. And we're calling for a much more transparent process. And we haven't been able to get Florida to stop it, but we're hoping we can get California.
Yes, you know, you did say, I watched a particular interview that you had done, and you said that the hybrid mosquitoes may be more aggressive and more resistant to insecticides. What does that mean, or what dangers can that actually pose?
What that means is they'll bite you more.
Wow. Okay.
And that the sprays that you want to use to kill them won't work.
Okay. Okay, and
The global stage. The global stage. All right, so welcome back. When the man was talking, he said something. This is an expert on food safety and environmental safety. He said that there's evidence that when they go ahead with this particular experiment, number one, like I said, these new mosquitoes will bite harder than they used to. But like I said, they cause itchy bumps, they cause yellow fever, they cause dengue, they cause Zika, they cause malaria as well. And there could be a new disease they can bring, which we are not aware of, which we may struggle to even mitigate or cure as well. And then second, he said that they could also be resistant, like I said, to pesticides again, because we shouldn't rule out using spraying or pesticides to kill mosquitoes. We can still go ahead with that, but we need to come up with a new method of killing them, because this particular experiment wouldn't work for us. And so he said that we need more data. So like I said, we need transparent data. They should give us the data, and up to now, the company hasn't provided a transparent data as to what they said it is on safety analysis as well. They haven't done that. Like, we need what we call a substantial risk analysis. We need data, and important, we need an independent research, because this concerns human beings, and we need to ask questions.
And not being able to provide data that proves that it is really good really makes it serious.
Exactly, it makes it very serious. And because they say we should trust science, trusting science is a big statement. You can't just trust science. You trust science by proving it. So let's subject your experiment to an independent review. Let's sit down and ask our questions. So once these things have been satisfied, transparency, substantial risk analysis, independent research, we cannot say that this is good for the human, especially in our day when we know a lot of things happen, because there are those who are weaponizing things in the name of saving lives.
Yes.
So once these things have been satisfied, then we could say that it is safe. But until then, I do not think it is the right thing for us to go ahead with it. And I thank God that these things is being halted by the local government and the people of Florida. And one thing we also know that, you see, this is about United States, but it concerns the whole world, because US is a pacemaker when it comes to things in the world. So once United States accepts this kind of experiment, then who says it cannot go to other nations?
Anything that is accepted in the US is accepted in the whole world.
Exactly. So today, it may not be Ghana, it may not be Nigeria, it may not be Canada. It is United States. Tomorrow, once they give the approval, then eventually it goes to everywhere.
Because in the video, we realize that they are going to be releasing over billions
of them.
And this cannot only be in US.
Exactly.
Cannot only be billions of mosquitoes cannot only
so
be in
once they give the green light to release it, and they go ahead with it, then definitely it won't be, US will not be the last country that this thing will go on. It will definitely go to other nations, and especially in Africa. And one thing we must realize that there's something we call mosquito carrying viruses. This is something most people are not aware of, and it is ongoing. But for now, we will stick to what we have right now. So we shouldn't be very much excited when we see some of these things, because even though the idea is to reduce infection, reduce death, the method is unethical and not safe. And we shouldn't be so much excited about this, especially in the days we live in now, because it is very hard to tell between truth and deception, or truth and lie. So I don't think we should go on with such an experiment.
Thank you very much for the explanation. And we look forward to giving you updates of what is going on concerning this same matter, because this is a very serious matter. I remember when they're talking about mosquitoes, there is no continent that has mosquitoes than Africa. So releasing this thing in US, they are telling us that they are bringing it to Africa. Because if they claim it works, they must bring it to where malaria, they know malaria thriving very well in Africa.
Exactly.
And they will bring it to Africa. So thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. And if you have, you can also send us your opinions and your contributions or anything you want to send it to us. We'll be glad we'll be happy to answer you as well. So thank you for being with us. God bless you. See you some other time.
The global stage. The global stage.